Hi, I'm Kale Brown, and I went on the Big Creek missions trip. I also got to see kids come closer to God, which was really cool to see Jesus take action in your own life. Also, it was really sad to see how some people didn't have concern for their health or the health of others. It was really enlightening experience, and I hope I get to do it again.
Something I took away from the week, a lot of people I met down there, they were extremely positive. They didn't have much. What they did have, they were extremely content with. I hope some of that bled into us so we can take that back here with us. Family was also very important to them. It's good to know that there are more people out there of similar values and ideals to us, even if they're hidden deep in the Appalachian Mountains.
Big Creek was a really good place where I got to meet a lot of good people. I was very excited to go, and I got to minister and share the gospel to a lot of good kids. I really loved it, and I hope I can go back one year.
Hi, I'm Ellie. During the week, we met some really great kids and made lots of new friends with the other churches that we worked with. In the week, I worked with the kids groups and helped with kids ages 10 through 12. In the middle of the week, I was walking back to our group with the little girl and began to talk about how I read my Bible. She then told me that she had never read a story in the Bible, and we decided about reading about Noah the next day at camp. The next day at camp, she had 3 other kids that wanted to read with us. 2 of the little girls were very interested and thought it was amazing how these hard-to-believe stories were actually true. Before we left camp, I prayed with these 2 girls and gave them a beginner's Bible to continue to read. Clearly, God changed these 2 girls' hearts and taught me how easily He could draw someone near to Him.
I'm Garrett Mangold. I had a lot of fun on the mission trip. I thought we did a good job. One of my favorite parts was every night at 10:30, the boys would go into the showers and start singing. I feel like I saw God at work just by seeing how many people decided to give up a week of their summer to help those who needed it.
My name is Drew Nidlinger, and I went on the Big Creek mission trip. I think one of the biggest highlights during the trip for me was being able to go into the community with the people from my church and being able to work together and help the people better.
Hi, I'm Luke Brown. I had a chance to attend the trip to Big Creek and had a wonderful experience. I came home very proud of the kids from our youth group. While we were there, we had a chance to do some construction projects, and we built a 40-foot wheelchair ramp for a lady who lived way up high in a mountain, and also installed a bunch of drywall in a ceiling of a house that had pretty significant water damage. And we had a great chance to share with each of those families and pray with them as we came and went each day, and it was just a great time.
So one of my highlights was when this girl named Kylie came up to me and wanted one of my bracelets. So I explained all the significance of it, and she pointed to the cross one and said, "I want that one." So I went back to the camp and made her one. This impacted my life because I got to grow in my relationship with God by worshiping every 12 hours and growing in relationship with these kids. They are so kind and generous.
Hello, my name is Charlie, and Big Creek was my first mission trip experience. You could see plainly that the area we were in was a community of suffering, physically, mentally, financially, and quite frankly, spiritually. It was heartbreaking, but a great opportunity to show God's amazing love. It was encouraging and empowering to see volunteers like us from all over the country band together and serve in the name of Jesus. It was apparent that the smallest act of love, something as small as playing basketball, telling a story, or sharing a meal with someone, could make a huge difference, and it was so rewarding to see joy in the eyes of the kids or adults we were serving. My biggest takeaway was that Jesus didn't just die on the cross to give believers eternal life in heaven, but He did to transform us, to make us blameless and righteous in the Lord's sight, and that each day we have the choice to cling to the world or to cling to our faith, and act as those who have been saved. It was great to serve in Kentucky, and I look forward to continue serving right here at home and everywhere I go.
Hello, my name is Grant Shaw. My favorite part was helping out old people in construction. On the trip, God made me realize that I should be more grateful for what I have.
Some things that I thought were super cool from the trip was getting to worship every 12 hours. And I got the opportunity to work in the children's ministry doing something that I didn't really expect. I got to work in the reading corner is what they called it, but it was more of like a learning center where we made reading and working on handwriting fun and enjoyable for the kids. Because of COVID, they had online school and there's not great internet there. And so a lot of them were behind on their reading skills, and so it was great to be able to practice teaching to them because I really want to be a teacher someday. I really saw God working in me and in trusting his path for me. It was really eye-opening to see their lifestyles and just to see that they could find so much joy in just a new book because they don't have that at home.
My name is Parker, and I got to work with the kids throughout the whole week as a group leader, basically a camp counselor. And God showed me that sometimes you have to be patient with some of the kids because they don't always listen the first time you say something.
During my week down in Kentucky, I was able to work in the children's ministry, and I got to experience many different things with the kids down there. One of my favorite things was getting to be a part of this one little boy's journey through God, and getting to know that he was in the foster care system and his life in that, and also God using me to be able to bring light to his life and seeing those behavioral changes throughout the week in just a short period of time.
Hi, I'm Emma. On the missions trip, I worked with the kids and I got to meet a lot of great people. On Wednesday night, we went out to dinner with our youth group and we went to a restaurant called Eagles Landing. There were 3 employees working, so we helped out where we could and they were so grateful. This experience showed me that even through seemingly small acts of kindness, we can show God's love for others.
And I loved watching all the kids just pitch in whenever they needed help anywhere. It was really cool to see that they didn't even have to be asked, they just served whenever it was needed. Not just out in the community, but even when we were back at camp doing things with the meal or sweeping up the floors or cleaning our rooms. For me, one thing that really stuck out is that I've been on several mission trips in the past, and I pictured this trip to Kentucky as more of a chaperone and stateside, so not thinking it was going to be quite as dramatic as a third world country trip. But I realized very quickly that the mission field is right in front of you, wherever you go, and we are to serve those who are right in front of us too.
Hi, I'm Tyler Beckman. I got to go to on the Kentucky trip with the youth group this year. I'm happy I got to go as a leader this time. I got signed up for community, but in the end was working with kids, teaching the Lord's message, and got to really learn more about myself and learn more about God whilst working with him, you know. It's a neat time.
Well, this is probably gonna be one of my last few mission trips, so I wanted to spend one more good one down in Big Creek. This is my 3rd trip down there, and I was glad to spend it with a new group, and I'm really glad to see these group of kids grow up and see them work well with the Lord.
My biggest takeaway was that I really got to know some of these teens. I didn't know their backgrounds so much. I didn't know what they were going through, but when I sat down and talked with them, it was really nice to get to know that and understand what they're going through. And it just reminded me that that's what I need to do when I come home now. It was also good just working with our teen youth group that came down with us. We had a good time together. We build relationships, and it was really nice. And so it was a good time to go.
As I think back to the week of our mission trip, there isn't just one thing in particular that sticks out in my mind. Well, except maybe getting stuck in the ditch, but that's a story for another time. These kids are so amazing to work with, and I saw them really grow the week that we were gone. They stepped out of their comfort zones, they made new friends, they came out of their shells. They did some things that they probably wouldn't have done if they hadn't had the opportunity to go away on this trip. I'm so thankful to be able to work with them. They are such hard workers and they have hearts for serving. There are so many things that we did on this trip that we all have stories to tell you that we can't possibly fit into this little video. So I really encourage you to find one of us on a Sunday that went on this trip and ask us about what we did. Ask about the day camps, ask about the ditch, ask about our adventures searching for Claude, the food, so many things that went on that we would love to share with you. So please find us one week and let us tell you what we experienced while we were there. And again, thank you so much for all your support to send us on this trip to Kentucky.